What is up, Broncos country? It is Saturday night. Bronco Night Live. Mike Carmelini, you know this is what I do. When the wife's away, the MC Hammer will play. Before we get into predictions, welcome to the show. It's good to see you guys again. I love these late night chats we have. I've got a full slate tonight. Before we get going, I do want to briefly just go over last year to kind of get us back up to speed. What happened? I noticed a few things looking at last year's schedule. I was surprised the Broncos did not lose more than 2 games in a row last year. I found that surprising because I felt like at times we went like on these losing streaks, but looking at this, I was wrong. Uh, so we all remember. Let's see if I can do. Let's bring up. I like to bring up my. I was going to bring up my little scorekeeper, but we'll do it off to the side. So September 8th last year, we all remember going on the road to the Seahawks and then Pittsburgh. So 2 really good defenses right away with our rookie quarterback, Bo Nix. And we all felt, at least I think some of us felt a little nervous, like what was going to happen. 12th overall, is Bo going to be the guy? Are we as confident as Sean Payton wants us to be? I think if you go back and check most of our Twitter accounts, you would find that we were all pretty excited. Dylan Earl joining us. Let's go Broncos. Thanks, Dylan. Dylan was probably excited. Let me know. I think I was nervous. But I was also realistic, going over the schedule that was coming. Kind of thought a couple games, if we could just get through the first 5 weeks at 3-2, that we would be sitting pretty good. And that's exactly what happened. I'll run through it real quick. Open at the Seahawks. We lost that game 20-26, and then we went to Pittsburgh 6-13. Both of those were winnable games. Didn't happen that way. What's up, Jay? Reposted the stream. Did you really? I got to start sending Jay money. He's amazing. Has an amazing show. So we lost the first 2, and then that great game against Tampa Bay, 26-7. Bo kind of went off. We had what looked like offense and defense working. Then we squeezed one out with the Jets. Went and beat the Raiders, which was nice. And then that kind of weird game with the Chargers where is that the one where we kind of came out on fire and then kind of blew it? We were at 3-3. And then again, we went on this little run with 2 wins in a row, the Saints and the Panthers, where we kind of kicked both of their asses. That was a good time. And then we went up against the Ravens. Everybody remembers that game. It was really ugly. We got the crap beat out of us, maybe a wake-up call. But what was interesting is we kind of woke right back up, and that heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs with the last-minute blocked field goal. It took me weeks to get over that game. That was a win until it wasn't. We made the Falcons pay for it the next week. We beat the crap out of them 38-6. We were at 6-5. Then we swept the Raiders, which is something we should all get used to. And then the Browns, we got to 8-5 at the bye week. Okay. Come out of the bye week. It's just a quick refresher. And beat the Colts 31-13. We're 9-5. We need 1 win to secure a playoff spot. And it got a little bit dicey there at the end. We lost to the Chargers. Then we lost to the Bengals. And we got the Kansas City third stringers. Got us to 10-7, got us into the playoffs. We all know what happened after that. And but 10-7, so that was last year. And So let's do this together, shall we? Let's do a quick. I'm going to bring up my scoreboard here. And anybody that watches my show knows on Mic'd Up, we love to keep score. Now, do we want to see the scoreboard or do we want to see? Let's see if we can find a way to do a scoreboard. Let's add that to the stage. How do we do that? That doesn't work. Maybe I can't. Can I not have two things on the board at once? This is crap. All right, you guys don't care about that as much as I do. All right, let's open up this season. I'll keep score off to the side, just so I'm on the record, so everybody's got something to yell at me about next year. By the way, undefeated in the preseason, and we know what that means. Jay comes in, Broncos Night Live. College football makes me want the first Bo Nix snap so bad. Me too, buddy. I'm so excited to see this team continue to develop and grow into the team that can handle expectations. The bowl is in sight. Is that the Super Bowl, Jay? I think I did a poll if we were too high or about right. And there are about 30% of you that do not feel the Super Bowl is out of the question. Ty comes in and says, "What's up, Mike?" Well, what's up, Ty? Good to see you, buddy. Another fellow podcaster out there. Welcome to the show. It's good to see all of you in here. Get in the chat. Let's start with Tennessee. Now, rookie quarterback making his first start against our defense. I think we're all feeling pretty good about that. That's at Empower Field. So we're going to go 1-0 on that one. I don't think that's going to be too big of a question. And then we're going to jet off to Lucas Oil Stadium to play the Colts. I'm going to go ahead and start us 2-0. And and hopefully you guys agree with that. I think it gets a little dicier. We got a pretty tough run coming up, but 2 interceptions minimum for Jay. You know, there's several things I love about Jay Weaver. I love his shows, but the other thing I love about him is his optimism. And I was going back through off-season tweets today, and I was putting together a little like frozen cold takes from everybody in the business that I'm in. And was picking mine out too, not just yours, but mine. But I did find one of Jay's where we were kind of going back on, I think it was Estime, and I was calling Estime to be out, and I think he was saying there was no way in hell we were cutting Estime. So Jay, if that's wrong, feel free to throw that back in my face. But I'm pretty sure that was you. Could have been somebody else, but pretty sure it was you. So Broncos are 2-0. And then, okay, the Chargers. Chargers swept us last year, right? So that's our third game up. We're going to go into SoFi. I don't know if this group has won in SoFi. I think this is going to be a tough game. But I think this is the year. And I think we are going to start the season 3-0 with a win in LA against the Chargers. So I was right. All right, Jay. I was just checking. So Estime is a big L for me. Well, I'm not saying that's a big L because you were not alone. Again, he was 20, just turning 21. And I kept going back to, well, there was a few things, but I kept going back to the benching for the Buffalo game. And I have to admit, I did have a little inside information. There was a little bit more to that. And you guys have probably all heard this story now, but at some point last year, Coach Payton had a picture of Jerome Bettis put on Estime's locker saying, this is what we want from you. And that just wasn't happening. And we, kind of wanted Estime to be the big bruiser back. and he was certainly built for it, but it just wasn't happening. And I think it just came to a point where, if he couldn't do that, then Sean was going to look elsewhere. And Bidet had shown out. He didn't use him in that game, and I don't know why, because he brought him up and then only used him, I think, for 2 plays, maybe 2 carries. So either way, it didn't work. I don't think it changes that game. That was Buffalo's day, and we were still a year away. And we'll get into the roster improvements and the schedule, and what that means for the schedule. But estimate it wasn't just your loss. That was kind of everybody's loss there, except me, of course, because I'm Karnak. Now, Cincinnati at home. This is I'm going 4-0 here, guys. So I haven't predicted the Broncos to go 4-0 in I don't know how long, but I'm doing it this year. And I'm saying we come out, we beat Tennessee, we go to Indy and win, we go to LA and win, and then we come home and beat Cincinnati at home. We're 4-0. What used to be a quarter of the season, now it's a quarter and another quarter or whatever it is. That 17th game got weird. At Philadelphia, I'm calling that our first loss. And then we're going overseas and playing in London against the Jets. So basically a neutral site. I think that'll be a home-ish game for the Broncos, and I'm calling it 5-1. And I don't think anybody's going to argue with me too much about that here. The Jets are going down in London. Coming back home 2 in a row, we've got the Giants, calling that a win. Dallas, who y'all know the news on that. The Micah list. According to Jerry Jones, the Cowboys are better off now without Micah Parsons. If you believe that. I'm calling that 7 wins. We're going to go to Houston, and we're going to drop that game. We're going to beat Vegas again. We're going to beat Kansas City at home before the bye, and we're 9-2 at the bye. So do I really feel this way? Yes, I do. I feel confident in that. But I bet $1,000. I would probably bet 1,000 on 8-3, but I like 9-2 here. And I think that sets us up pretty good for the rest of the way. Which there are some tough games on the rest of the schedule. We got to go into 9-2 at the bye would definitely be amazing. And I know that I'm not hot takey on this, but I'm just going through it game by game, guys. I kind of like, I'm not really watching like what we are until we get to a stopping point. So we're 9-2, but I'm just like straight up picking those games. But let's move on. Let's go at Washington, and who knows what these teams are going to be by this time. I say that tough place to play, good football team, probably a good playoff team. I say we drop that one. I think we'll go back and beat the Raiders again. Green Bay at home. I say we beat Green Bay at home too. And then we beat Jacksonville. Then we lose at Arrowhead. Are we going to sweep the? Yeah, and then we're going to beat the Chargers. I'm calling that 13-4. If I would have just said, out the gate, I would have said 11 or 12 wins. Either way, it's fun. I'm at 13-4 right now, and I'm going to make that my official prediction for the season. So you guys will have this ammo to use against me when I make fun of your estimate tweets, which I wouldn't do to you guys at all. Tell me what you think. That would be amazing. Ty's got us at 11-6, probably a safer bet. I know I'm given some games here that could And honestly, 4 of these games could easily go either way. But this is a Broncos show, and I'm a believer right now. I do need to see, and we all need to see it. But I do like the fact that we kind of get to ramp up a little bit with Tennessee and Indianapolis. And let's be honest, we can't jinx them. We're just here talking about it. We don't do jinxes here. But I think they got a little bit of room to have their notorious little slow start. Um, but the schedule is kind of just doable this year. It's not ridiculous. It's not when the schedule kind of came out at first, I think I felt like it was really, really tough. But I don't know. I feel like it's like appropriately tough. Like there are some tough games here, but there are like the Broncos are just a better team. And well, I am a believer. What can I say? Let's but let's talk about the roster a little bit. Now, I've seen a few people say that this roster is better at every position than it was last year. And I'm going to bring this over here a little bit closer to me so I can get to it. Now, can you guys see this all right? I think you can. Either way, I got the 2024 schedule here on the left, 2025 on the right. And I literally just typed this up like 5 minutes ago, so bear with me. Bo Nix. So what we're going to do is we're going to go green. We're going to give a green if the position improved. And I'm going to say that Bo Nix improved because it's his second year in the system. And I know all you guys that follow along are freaks like me. You've seen the Bo Nix hasn't been in the same system 2 years in a row since he was in high school. Now, if that's not a huge advantage for a student of the game like Bo Nix, then I don't know what is. I think that makes him better. Ty agrees. All right, let's talk about. We're going from Javonte Williams from Pookie, who we all loved when he was still Pookie, but he never really came back to being Pookie, did he, after his injury? And maybe he will now. And he's where? Dallas? So we'll see him. And we'll see how he does. But J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey, J.K., R.J., J.K. Whatever the 1 and 2 is there, I kind of feel like they've been saving J.K. for the regular season. I think it won't really matter who takes the first snap. It could very well be R.J. And then J.K. can come out on third down and do what he does best. We don't know, but that's an improvement. Let's be honest. We're going to go 2 greens there. All right, so Mims, was Mims really wide receiver 2 last year? I think kind of. If you go by yardage, you could say the 3 wide receivers were Mims, Court, and Little Jordan Humphrey. So now we're Mims, Court, and Troy Franklin. And arguably it could be Court, Troy Franklin, and then Mims. That's how close Troy and Mims probably are right now. So we'll go yellow on Mims. And we'll go yellow on Court. And I'm going to go green for Troy Franklin over Little Jordan Humphrey from last year. And yeah, I know that Javonte is listed as RB1 in Dallas right now. So good for him. Now, overall, so that room has improved. I think it's clear that Troy is not the same player that he was last year. He looks fantastic. I think Cortland and Bo will gel even more than they did last year. Uh, he was extended. They have high hopes for Court, but to say that he's, it improved the position, I can't go there, but I think it's going to be just as good, perhaps better. And Mims, we'll see. It's a wait and see. This one we don't have to wait and see. I think we can definitely say that Evan Ingram is an improvement. Adam Troutman stays the same. So we'll go there. Now, all these offensive linemen, the easy way, I suppose, would be to say that the position has stayed the same, but I've heard the argument, and I kind of agree, that the second year in the same system and the same personnel is pretty good for uh, an offensive line, to say the least. So we'll give them a light green, a slight improvement. I didn't know I was going to do that, but I'm glad that we figured that out. I still say that's an improvement in that group, just for the fact that they're playing together again. I think they're going to have to address this Ben Powers, Luke Wattenberg thing. Hopefully, they get this running game going, guys. If there's one thing offensively I'm nervous about, it's the running game. I think we got the running backs to do it, but we all saw the stats last year how the Broncos had one of the best win rates for offensive line, but one of the worst running back rooms. But those kind of deeper stats always are kind of a wait and see for me. I kind of look with my eyes. It didn't appear as though there were a lot of great running lanes for the Broncos running backs last year, but when there were, they certainly weren't taking advantage of them. So I get that totally. But overall, I think if you look at we certainly didn't get worse anywhere, and arguably we got better at almost every position on the offense. I think Mims, I'm scared of the groin injury. I mean, to be honest with you, right? Groin injuries, those are those ones that they don't worry about for like 6 weeks straight. And then it turns out to be something bad. So let's hope that's not the case. But we've got Patrick in the wings now, and hopefully, in a few weeks, he'll be, he looks good. I think we will miss Vele. He was solid, but I mean, what are you going to do? 4th round pick. I digress. That's what this late night stuff is for, guys. I have to keep checking this mic because it's got this, if you touch it in the wrong place, it mutes. And I don't know how to get rid of that. I wish it was in a setting, but it's not. Defense, Zach Allen. I don't know. He's better paid, so maybe he's a slight improvement. DJ Jones, kind of the same. JFM, same. Jonathan Cooper. I mean, same. All right, so Greenlaw, big green for Greenlaw. Big improvement. Justin Strnad, back to Alex Singleton. Guys, I've been saying it all year. I know that there's a lot of Alex Singleton haters out there. I called my shot that he would be the starter, that nobody was going to beat him out. Hopefully he's healthy. He is going to benefit by having Dre Greenlaw and Hufanga more than you guys think. There was a little bit more, I think, on Alex's plate. And I think he's better off letting someone else kind of do the lion's share and going and making some plays. So I got high hopes for him. And I'll get to your questions here in just a second, guys. Nick Bonito, I don't know if he's going to get better. It's a hell of a year. But I think Patrick Surtain with Riley Moss coming back gets a light gray and light green. Riley being healthy. And then Hufanga is, where's Brandon? This list is not complete. We're missing our other safety, aren't we? It's all right. Here we go, Brian. BJ. Let's call him BJ. I get that right, Brian Jones? And Hufanga. Big improvement. So that's a lot of green there, guys. That is a lot of green. I think the guy saying that we've kind of like got our roster better across the whole spectrum of the is just kind of true. And some of it by virtue of not changing personnel, but keeping guys together, like this O line, who's playing next to them, getting healthy. Cody Barton to Greenlaw and Justin Strnad to Singleton. I like that. Yeah, kind of happy about that. Love the Hufanga addition. These guys stay healthy, I'm telling you. Dark horse MVP on offense for Denver. Okay, my dark horse would be J.K. Dobbins. Just a super exciting player. They had like 900 yards and like just over half a season. Like he could be special if he stays healthy. And then on defense, shoot, that's so tough. Like a dark horse on defense. Would Zach Allen be a dark horse? Like who would yours be? Um, those kind of awards, like if I was like trying to predict an award, it would be one thing, but like I think that like Dre Greenlaw literally is probably the most important addition to this defense. Like that, like teams could run the ball on the Broncos last year, and I think the inside linebackers were very much the cause of that. Having the strong safety and Hufanga with the combination of Greenlaw is really going to help plug up the middle of the field there. So how that plays out, I'll just say Dre Greenlaw is my dark horse MVP for defense. Jackson coming in. Who do you think will return kicks if Mims can't play? Well, even if Mims can play, I think you might get Bidet. He showed out a little bit on that. I think that's one of the reasons why you might see Tyler Bidet on the active roster as the third running back, maybe even the fourth running back. So if you've got JK, RJ, and then you've got Jaleel as your three, there is a case for bringing in Bidet as your returner, especially if Mims is playing a big role as wide receiver too. But in your case, Jackson, what you're saying is if he can't play, then my guess is because they didn't call up or they didn't put two of my guys on the practice squad. I think it would have to be Bidet at this point. I don't know who else they have. Ty, I'm assuming you're talking about defensive MVPs there and not return people because you got JFM or Brandon Jones. Yeah. Back to that though. Yeah, that's who I'd say. Bidet. He had a couple returns. Look good. Yeah, Brandon Jones was a big player for the defense last year. Maybe an unsung hero. But and JFM, yeah, those like that JFM, they like Zach Jones, Myers. That's just a really solid group right there. And I love the depth we've got. We're not getting into that too much tonight, but Jordan Jackson, Malcolm Roach, Wazarike even making it. Q, where's Q? Is he listed on here somewhere? Yeah, Q Robinson and Tillman. I mean, there's a few guys I think would start or certainly be in the rotation on other teams. And not even talking about like the depth on our cornerbacks where you've got Chris Abrams Drain now is our fourth cornerback? Possibly fifth. I mean, we've got some depth on this team. Like where do we need to add? A center? And we're getting dangerously close to a guard. But honestly, a lot of these other positions look pretty good to me. Jackson coming back in. Bidet looks like he could be good. Our running back room is so much better. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Um, like if you, so let's say we're in a game. It's Titans. It's the second half, and we have a 1-score lead. And on first down, the offense comes out on the field, and in the backfield for the first play is Bidet. Is it not crazy that you'd be like, oh, cool, let's see what Bidet is going to do? Like that's our 4th string running back probably, and you'd be like totally cool with it. At least I would be, or Julio's in there. You'd be like, okay, well, Julio's in there. He, maybe they'll do one of those, uh, whatever they call it, the little halfback route out of the backfield. I'm drawing a blank right now, but and then of course, J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey. You're going to be super excited about. There's literally 4 running backs on the field where you'd be fine with it. We've seen them all like do things that would excite us. So that's just a huge thing. That room has gotten that far in 1 year. And on the flip side of that, I guess if you like the tight end room, certainly looks like it's such a big upgrade too, but it's honestly because of Evan Ingram. So we're kind of like one play away to being back to Troutman, Kroll, whatever, right? So that room, even though it's better, and I'm not down on Adam Troutman, I'm actually a bigger fan of Troutman's than others. I just know that he's not the playmaking tight end that we all want to have in the game, like the passing tight end. Like we've needed that. Lucas Kroll was supposed to be that, but it didn't pan out. Yeah, we don't have the depth at tight end that we need. And I know that Sean is high on Nate Adkins, and I am too. But he's out for at least 3 weeks. So Evan, stay healthy, get out there and make some plays. I guess I never thought about, so if Trent Sherfield, did he return any kicks in the preseason? I don't recall that he did. If he didn't, maybe he should have. But those questions that'll go unanswered. I'd like to hear, it'll be interesting to see, what everybody's MVPs are going to be, what their concerns are. It's kind of interested to see. They haven't updated it. I don't know when they do. I guess a few more things I would point out. Just just a few concerns. They're so small though. No problem with Will Lutz, obviously. Special teams under Rizzi should be fine. Crawshaw, thank God he's a punter. And hopefully, he gets past whatever his jitters are, that's preventing him from, letting it all out. The guys that were at camp saw, this guy can boot the ball. And I know Sean Payton was doing some, in-game type scenarios with punting to get a little more used to game time scenarios, which they don't do a lot with special teams, but they did some of that this week. And hopefully that pays off so that when, Jeremy Crawshaw goes in for his first punts, he's not shitting his pants this time. Brett Hilbers, less than 11 wins seems impossible if we start 4-0 from my point of view. Well, Brett Hilbers, as a scientist, and I know you are, you should know that it's not impossible, but it may seem impossible. Yes, Brett. I kind of agree, though. If we do start 4-0, it's going to be really hard to not win 12 games, right? Or 13 games. So good on you, and good on you for being one of my favorite people on the planet. Brett, good to see you. I've never seen you in the chat before. So at least I hope you're the only Brett Hilbers that I know. Now, Crawshaw, Mims is still listed as the kick returner, but Jaleel is listed as the second string. So going back to, I think Jackson's question from earlier, this is one of those Sean Payton depth charts, I think, that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything because there's people on here that have been cut. Okay. So they do have Gargiulo on IR. Yeah, the offensive line's another concern. Pat Bryant, not a concern, but I guess it's somebody to be excited about for all of us. Let's hope he, I don't know, develops as quick as Vele did. That was fun to watch last year. It's going to be, not hit or miss for a guy like Patrick, but it's going to be, trial by fire. Let's say by this Cincinnati game in week 4, we should be seeing Pat Bryant involved like Vele was in the offense by then. So let's hope on that. They've got high hopes for him. But Court, Mims, Franklin, Bryant, that's a pretty good four guys in wide receiver. Pretty good 4 guys in the running back room. Defense, one of the best in the league if they can stay healthy. Guys, there is nothing but excitement in Broncos country, and there should be nothing but excitement in Broncos country. I'm sticking with 13-4. My man Brett Hilber's saying minimum 11 if we start. 4-0, and you're right. I mean, to win the first 4 games with notorious slow starts, that's a tough. Like I said, I wouldn't put money on it. But those are my predictions. I'm sticking to them. If you guys have something different, put them in the comments below. As always, it's a pleasure to see all of you on a sort of a little quiet, rainy Saturday night here at the Carmelini Ranch. And I've enjoyed this time with you. I will make notes of what I did here so that you can make fun of me later when the time comes and it's appropriate. But until next time, I'm going to play. Oh, I should do this. I'm not even going to kill you guys with an outro stream. You guys have a good night as well too. Ty, Brett, Jackson, Jay, everybody for coming in. I appreciate you spending the time with me. It's one of my favorite favorite things to do, these improv little shows. So they don't have to write anything. I don't have to do anything. I just get to come talk Broncos with my favorite guys. So appreciate y'all. And we'll catch up with you real soon. Until next time, though, go Broncos. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there. We'll talk to you soon.